Good morning, ladies and
Well, folks,
gentlemen. Welcome to the Associated Guest. I, as always, am your host, Alfie Animus, here at the Bear in Mind channel. And today, bit of a late start. Apologies all around. But yeah, today we're going to get into some more Iran updates. Spencer Pratt is back at it. Some rich white lady gets displays a bunch of banned books that aren't actually banned because she's allowed to have them for sale. And then Marcus Rubius, first of his name, does what Marcus Rubius does. We'll get into that. Let's get into this.
of Iran keeps changing by the hour, but the fundamentals don't really change much at all. Mojtaba Khomeini, the Ayatollah's successor, he's still missing, and probably still gay, and probably still with one leg. And Iran remains as intransigent as ever because, it's run by the IRGC. So Americans, it would be wise to just
He is the butt buffer within a burqa.
recognize this may be a little while. We will also get to some remarkably revealing comments from the late Senator Lindsey Graham, comments that explain an entire school of American foreign policy, including why the State Department has been wrong about nearly everything for literally ever. On foreign policy, the president did what I thought he would yesterday. He backed off that 20% tolling the Strait routine. He says that there will be a blockade on Iranian oil coming out of Iran, but we won't be charging a toll. Instead, we will find other ways to do business with countries that are benefiting. He said oil is flowing like never before. This is on Truth Social, thanks to the awesome power of the United States military. By the way, this is true. There is oil that is, in fact, flowing. There are various lanes that are in the Strait of Hormuz. The lane that is furthest from Iran, from its shores, goes near Oman, and that lane is increasingly open. He says a special salute to Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Dan Kane, and Commander of the U.S. Central Command Admiral Brad Cooper. Because of them, and all members of the most powerful military any in the world by far, the Strait of Hormuz is open to all ship traffic except for Iran. And that is because of their lying, violent, malicious leadership, which is taking them down the path of total destruction. We will therefore
Which is based, which is completely based.
have a full blockade, but only on ships coming to and from Iranian ports or carrying anything having to do with Iranian cargo. Based on highly productive conversations with Middle East leadership, I've decided to replace the 20% U.S. reimbursement fee with trade and investment deals that the various Gulf states will be making in the
Good
United
morning,
States.
Yanuka. Good
Those
morning,
investments will be
Shapeshifter.
massive, but at the same time, extraordinarily good for them and their future. As everyone is aware, we have the largest dollar investment into the United States of any country in history. These new investments will make that number even larger. We'll see factories, plants, and equipment pour into the United States at historic levels, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. As the days of Iran killing hundreds of thousands of people, including 52,000 protesters, are over, most importantly, Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Trump explained what that looks like in a press conference yesterday. The Oval Office, increasingly gold. Every time you look at it, it gets more gold, actually.
I was called by different people, different countries, kings and emirs and all of the people that we all know and we all love. And they've been very strong partners. And they said, we'd love to do it a different way. We'd love to invest in the United States with billions and billions of dollars and continue our record-setting.
Yes,
we've
Act
never
3.
done time like this in the United States, with the factories, with the plants, with everything else. And we would like to invest tremendously in the United States as opposed to charging a fee.
Okay, so, again, as I suggested before, the United States is, in fact, absorbing the cost of keeping the Strait open.
Yes.
And so the idea that the United States ought to benefit, not in some sort of generic sense, but that other countries ought to contribute to their own defense, that if we have to do the work of the Japanese, for example, or the Europeans in keeping the Strait open, then we're going to need some form of cooperation with them. That's not a terrible idea, and it is fair for the president to ask for it.
And I agree. And especially a lot of these countries that people say, oh, well, they, democratic socialism works here and works there and all these other countries. Those countries benefit from having us protecting them. We basically pay for their defense budget. At least until recently, when President Trump has started to make other countries pay their percentages for the UN, NATO, etc.
There's a quote from Lindsey Graham.
Real quick before we get to that quote. This is a story that's been bugging me. So this is a lawyer, and by the way, this lawyer, Beth Borden, just got a young black man who raped and murdered a 92-year-old woman. Not sure the race of that woman, but does it really matter? She said, just got a life verdict on the death penalty. And then she posted, oh, that's not actually a video. But then she posted this, which is a like a happy giddy meme. And then the left, coping as they do, says, you can tell defense attorneys really think they deserve to live. Oh, sorry, that's not the left, is it? Oh, no, that's someone who doesn't know how to express themselves on the right. And then Evan Loves to Wharf chimed in, everyone who thinks they should be in prison for a crime they didn't commit. That doesn't really make sense. Evan Loves to Wharf, and this is why I say people shouldn't pay any attention to him unless it's just for content. And even then, really, Evan Loves to Wharf doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's just a grifter. And then Onion Person said, conservatives generally do not believe in due process or individual liberty or right to a trial because they're fascist. This person raped and killed a 92-year-old woman. Why should he get anything? And anyway, going back to let me see where I had something on this marked. Yes, shoe on head. So Beth says, scrolling through Twitter, I am seeing QTs of my tweet, and it appears that I have triggered a lot of men who cannot handle a woman as a defense attorney. That's cope. No one. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have said some things about her being a dumb bitch or this or that, but it's got nothing to do with you being an attorney and a woman. It's got to do with you posting cutesy little memes about how you got someone who raped and murdered a 92-year-old woman off of the death penalty and just got him life. They cannot handle that I am proud to have saved a life. They can't handle that I morally don't believe in the death penalty. I also believe it violates the 8th Amendment. They don't believe in the 6th Amendment's right to counsel. That's not true. They're actively wishing me dead. Everyone gets death threats on X online. I get them, and I'm nobody. They're actively wishing me dead for doing my job and calling me a whore because of my job. Weirdest part. I mean, it's just an insult. I mean, it's probably true. I know a lot of lawyers, and a lot of those female lawyers sleep with a lot of their clients because they're sad, lonely, independent women with a lot of animals. If you believe in the death penalty, that's fine. Many do, which is, gracious of you, I guess. But the irony of wishing me dead to say, and this is these aren't sentences. You're educated, yes. But the irony of wishing me dead to say that murder is wrong and thus the death penalty is good is very puzzling. So is someone who uses the word thus but doesn't know how to use punctuation. To which Shoe on Head, very based, said, "How did you twist people being understandably weirded out about you publicly celebrating defending a man who raped and murdered an elderly woman into people being anti-woman because she's the hero of the story? You get out there and you make this about you. Yes, it's your job, but why are you girl bossing about saving a violent rapist with cute little gifts? I have no theory of mind for this whatsoever. Sorry, how did you not expect people to feel disgusted?" Which is a very valid take. Because Shoe on Head is very based. She does this for a living. But yeah, sorry, that's as I'm scrolling through here, I saw that and I was just like, oh, come the fuck on.
That I think is really fascinating that came out yesterday in a piece from The Atlantic by Richard Fontaine. He's a really interesting thinker and writer. Richard Fontaine talks about a conversation that he had with Graham that has to do with foreign policy. And it is fascinating. He says, at what point in his career, I wondered, had Lindsey Graham gathered the boldness to assert himself so overtly in foreign policy? When I was first elected to the House, he recalled, I looked for the they who run things, they who know how things really work, they who know what they are doing. But I couldn't find the they. And then he says, I went to the Senate, but there was still no they. And then I started to get invited to the White House and to closed-door briefings and to meetings with top officials. No they. What I finally realized, he concluded, is that there is no they. There is only we. And we usually don't know what the F we're doing. And, again, that is right. That is right. I mean, there's this kind of self-appointed State Department expert class, and they're wrong about nearly everything. But it is not as though there is some sort of conspiracy in which people get together in a room together and figure out the they who control the foreign policy. Lindsey Graham was right. And here's the thing. If the they ain't American, the they is going to be Chinese or Russian or Iranian. That is the way it works. We'll get to more on this in a moment. First, if your credit card balance is going down by like 20 a month,
no, we're not doing that, Ben. We're not doing that, Ben. No. No. You've had your time.
A large-scale announcement yesterday that America is going to complete our withdrawal from Iraq completely by September 30th. That was also announced by Iraqi Prime Minister Ali al-Zaidi.
Hold on, we're in Iraq?
That is the end of a military presence that began with the American invasion of Iraq in 2000.
Oh, that's right. We still have a base there.
Levels in Iraq peaked in 2007. We had 170,000 troops in theater. Right now, there are about 2,500 U.S. troops remaining in the country. Now,
let's make sure this ends a lot better than before. Let's take all of our equipment out of there. Let's make sure all of our people get out. And, of course, let's make sure we blast the site just to make sure that our assets are good or no one else could utilize them.
That doesn't mean American involvement in Iraq is over. There are American oil companies that are going to be very active in Iraq. One of the reasons the president feels more comfortable doing this is because the last Iraqi regime was very pro-Iranian. The new Iraqi regime is significantly more pro-Sunni. They're much friendlier with Saudi, which is good, much friendlier with Turkey, which is not so great. The bottom line is that Iraq is not going to be a thoroughfare for Iran any longer. And so what you're watching is that the Iran war has reoriented the region away from Iranian power. Again, Iraq used to be Iran's playground. That is not the case anymore. Iranian power is on the wane, for sure. Here's President Trump explaining.
Iran was a big burden on Iraq because they were the bully of the Middle East, as you know. And we were just talking about that, but they're not going to have that problem anymore because Iran has been very much destabilized, and really their military power is just a tiny fraction of what it was just 4 months ago.
Okay, so.
Which, you know,
again, that is true.
good.
We can only hope that that maintains. Well, today, the president also reversed an immigration policy that was announced briefly yesterday, in which ICE was going to suspend traffic stops. So traffic stops was one way for ICE to find people who they were attempting to deport. Tom Homan, the border czar, came out yesterday on Fox. He said that we are still arresting a lot of people. There's going to be a short-term review of vehicle stop training to make sure that we don't have more of these incidents where people attempt to flee or direct their car in the direction of Border Patrol or ICE agents and then get shot.
There's an extensive vehicle stop training, much like the Border Patrol has. So, again, we'll let this play out where it is, but I think ICE is going to continue doing record arrests, record removals, and this is, I wouldn't even call it bumping the road. I mean, this is going to be a short-term review, so ICE feels comfortable that their agents are safe, they're doing the right thing, and get back to, doing what they do best, which is, making vehicle stops.
Which again, this is not an admission of guilt or defeat. Okay, mind you, Tom Homan has been doing this with, I think, the only time he wasn't doing this was during the Biden days, because there was maximum cope happening during that. But he's been doing this since the Obama days. He got an award from Barack Obama for a job well done, doing the very same thing with, more than likely, the very same tactics. The only thing that's changed is the public perception and the fact that the media, starting with celebrities and so-called influencers on streaming sites, YouTube, whatnot, are fixated on ICE and getting people stoked, getting the tensions stoked up,
Charge complete.
so that they feel, okay, oh, that's it. This thing's driving me nuts. I'm starting tomorrow. I'm gonna start using a different headset. I apologize for that. It's driving me nuts. And I know that y'all can hear that, which I apologize for that. But no. So they get them stoked up to the point where they want to go out there and throw their bodies on the line, which is exactly what the elites want to happen. They want deranged sons and daughters of rich people and also poor people to throw their bodies and put them on the line for these various political agendas and causes. Nothing's changed. The only thing that's changed is the media perspective. And that's just a fact.
Okay, so the president did put out a statement about 3 hours prior to the show saying the men and women of ICE are doing a great job, one that has to be done. Crime is way down in America, in many cases with numbers that haven't been seen in decades. The open border policy of sleepy Joe Biden allowed 25 million people to pour into our country unchecked and unvetted. Many were criminals. We have to get them out. In order to do this, we must be strong, tough, and smart. We cannot give up one of ICE's most important and effective crime-fighting tools, the traffic stop. Once we do, we are playing right into the criminals' hands. The radical left Democrats would like to see this done, but it won't happen on my watch. ICE, be judicious, fair, and smart, and go back and do your very important job. Keep those crime stat records coming. Okay, so the president not going to back off of that one. What an amazing video you just watched.
Ben, I hate that end stinger.
It was the F around us sometimes and the find outing us sometimes.
And we'll get into a little bit of... The only reason I'm playing this one is because it's over Karg Island. Yes, that Karg Island. The majestic, the beautiful, the potential for money it could bring us island. Yes,
something
it's wonderful.
Often saying around here, as Iran is choosing the find out option now, as President Trump is mulling a takeover of specific Iranian islands and also dropping MOABs. The GBU-43B MOAB, otherwise known as the mother of all bombs, may be used against Iran in the coming days. This, of course, is something they're very scared of. Iran promising to wipe out all U.S. bases in the region. Okay, well, you can't protect your own land, so why don't you start with not being jackasses first and shooting at every ship that goes through the Strait of Hormuz. This is what a MOAB does. This is what it looks like on the ground.
Isn't it beautiful?
Most powerful bomb in the world.
It's like a giant flaming cauliflower.
Effectively it just vaporizes.
It's probably the gayest thing I've ever said.
1,000 feet in every direction. It's just all gone. And you're gone, and your nation's gone. This is what the mother of all bombs.
I mean, that's a bit of a stretch. I swear I thought the Pentagon was about to blow up.
Bomb includes a satellite guidance system to help it get closer to its target instead of just dropping unguided. It detonates 6 feet above the ground, sending a wave of fire that obliterates everything within a 1,000-yard radius.
Yay!
The Air Force developed the MOAB in
Yeah, it's I don't care about the MOAB.
But
I mean, it's awesome. I love seeing things explode, but
right now we're already dropping bunker busters against Iran. You can already see images like this. Yeah, Iran keeps firing missiles and it's sort of showing us where they're storing.
Okay, do they drop them on actual cities or do they drop them on military sites? I think we know the answer. But they will continue to say that it's just dropping them on cities because they like to paint this administration in the worst light possible.
All of their missiles and drones, and so this is why you get explosions like this one. This would be a bunker buster.
Check out the size of this explosion. Absolutely massive. I think at a minimum, this is a 5,000-pound bunker buster bomb going in. Those secondary explosions tell me a lot of different things. Ammo storage facility, Shaheed drone storage facility, ballistic missile storage facility, potentially with rocket propellant lighting off. Just an insane explosion.
Here, Ryan, Max Afterburner has a great account. Thank you for this video. Informative. Hopefully we can have him on the show. Perhaps this is why Iranian government jets are flying from Tehran to Qatar quite desperately now. Trying to, presumably being a go-between for indirect talks with the United States, Iran. Their recent MOU, of course, falling to pieces. Tehran doesn't want to meet with American officials directly. This is another round. Expect the usual sticking points, frozen assets, Strait of Hormuz, and Lebanon. But there's no question that the sticking points are getting more desperate for Iran as, well, I'm just going to show you a scale model of what's happening to them right now. So you have Kashem Island. This island is now without power. It's shrouded in black smoke. This island is effectively
Not Karg
completely
Island,
inoperable.
right? Not Karg
See,
Island.
this is what it looks like sort of on the ground.
That's great.
Scouting
That's great.
Island, along with Greater
Say Karg.
Island, which was hammered this morning. Show
And
you
then
footage
there's
of that.
Lesser Tome.
There you go. This island they just wrote, is being used
The number 7.
for storage, and was
Okay,
straight
so
from
storage
Rubius.
is gone.
Watchtower here in southern Iran. Shabanar is strategically critical. It's the country's only deep water port outside of the Strait of Hormuz.
This is
giving
probably
Iran
Shabahar,
direct
but-
access to the Indian Ocean without passing through the Gulf. It's been the hub of India's backed corridor. Anyway, it is no more.
Do we see it? Do we see it? Do we see it? Do we see it happen? Boo, cameraman.
See ya.
I wanted to see the
island
impact.
Kish. Kish is a major way station for Iranian
Good job, Benny.
Air
You
Force
pronounced the
and
word
Navy,
probably right.
and how they project power out into the Strait of Hormuz. So we're just degrading their ability to project and to damage ships that are passing through this strait. At the same time, the Gulf states are building go-arounds. Dubai announced they're going to be building a giant pipeline that comes out right here. So they'll be able
Yes.
to get oil up and out. And then all the Gulf and Arab nations are building pipelines. Saudi Arabia is building a massive pipeline across their country. So
Hell
is
yes.
Iraq. So are the Kurds. It's all in process. Many of these pipelines are effectively going to come online in the year 2027 and 2028. People just aren't going to wait anymore. And so you can see the devastation. One final thing, I've been obsessed with these unmanned drone.
It is pretty dope
Blown up
seeing all these unmanned drones. I didn't know we had them for water. That's kind of awesome. It'd be even better if they could go underwater like little submarines,
Ports. People
little
don't understand
submarine speedboats.
how far into Iran those ports are. It's crazy. So we were able to just drive boats right into here. Look at this. It's a fortified. You got big walls here. You have a fortified.
Not if you
naval
drive an
shipping
exploding
yard,
boat
massive
into it.
Naval base here, and we're just able to drive our drone boats in what seemingly is the middle of the day or the middle of the night. Nobody stopped them. Drive them right up to that port, and boom, that port's gone. There, gone. Zip the drone right over here. Boom, this port's gone. It's crazy. So now they're talking about taking Karg Island.
Hey, it's that neck guy.
So what's Karg Island? Karg Island is where 90% of the oil is produced in Iran. And if they're able to do this kind of damage, take the electricity and water supply from this island chain, then, well, I guess why not, right? At this point,
Where is it, Benny?
You know, what's
Show
stopping them?
me.
President Trump
Is
talked
that
about
it,
taking
Karg?
Karg Island for quite a while. Yeah. And
Karg.
it is the island of
Hold on. I missed that.
President
I missed
Trump
that
talked about taking
zoom.
Karg Island for quite a while.
Is it there?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't
and
zoom. You
It
cheated.
is the island, of course, that does all of the oil storage and refinement and then shipping for Iran. Without this island, Iran has no money. Without this island, Iran has no capacity to project economically.
Without this island, boom.
Death stroke economically for Iran. Trump won't rule out Karg Island takeover, what the U.S. assault could look like. Hundreds of U.S. Marines storm ashore as helicopters thunder overhead. Navy warships and fighters jets establish overwhelming air and sea superiority. This is what military experts
Which we do.
envision.
We are
The open
superior.
hours of the potential operation to seize Karg Island, teeny but strategically vital island that handles 90% of the Islamic Republic's crude oil exports, becoming the centerpiece of Washington's economic pressure campaign. We'll see. Donald Trump was talking about this last night with Fox News and then posting about it on Truth Social. In 1988, actually. I'd be harsh with Iran. They've been beating us psychologically, make us look like a bunch of fools. One bullet shot at one of our men in the ships. I'd do a number on Karg Island. I'd go in and I'd take it. Iran can't even beat Iraq. Push the United States around. I'd be good for the world to take them on. So Donald Trump's been obviously talking about this for a very long time, had a very long grudge. We already hit Karg Island, as you know, twice. As far as taking it over, we degrade them far enough and deep enough. I would totally do that. Donald Trump has been saying this about now land invasion in Iran. I would do that. Retired U.S. military commander also saying that we should be deploying U.S. soldiers to seize Karg Island. Large oil spill in the water seen off Karg Island after the strikes conducted on the Iranian oil hub. So it's already being degraded. The U.S. has struck Karg Island, Western Jetty, pumping station, multiple pipelines supplying Karg Island, pumping stations with fires visible. NASA confirms. The U.S. strikes specifically targeting oil infrastructure.
The Hormuz letter.
Terminal. So if you want to talk
I'm
terminal,
gonna have to look that up. But anyway, so that's basically what was going on. I thought there was more of a plan. I didn't pre-check that one. I just saw it before I before I got on. I guess it popped up overnight, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna put that in there. But anyway, something that is truly interesting and truly based. Let's get over to Spencer Pratt and see what he's doing. This is ballot harvesting has turned California elections into a nightmare. It's time to end it. Yeah, for the city. That is pretty much what her fan base probably looks like. She's not great. It definitely has to be geeked out suburbanites who vote for her. Like I said, she's the one that started crying. I didn't know it was going to be this hard. I just thought it was going to be me talking about bike lanes. And she is not a serious person. And the fact that anyone voted for her just proves that no one cares what you say or do as long as you have the right letter by your name. Harvester of Sorrow. It's the new My Chemical Romance album.
Tonight we're taking
And that's relevant because apparently they're putting out new music.
a closer look at ballot harvesting.
Call it ballot harvesting.
Ballot harvesting.
Ballot harvesting can be one of the most confusing and contentious ways to cast a ballot.
Now, what is ballot harvesting? Well, first off, it's illegal in normal states. But in California, it's perfectly legal. Ballot harvesting is when you terminate the chain of custody that is meant to ensure secure voting. And it gives non-election officials, including employees of the candidates, legal access to your ballot to do whatever they want with it.
Practice involves a third party picking up a ballot a voter has filled out and dropping it off at a drop box or an elections department.
Notice how all the sketchy behavior is just kind of okay in blue areas, especially ones like California. You'll probably see it a lot in the Chicago area. You'll probably see it in New York. You'll probably see it all throughout Minnesota.
Harvesting could lead to someone voting in place of someone else, or allow a third party to tamper with or throw out ballots.
It used to
Don't forget that blind girl that's checking to make sure that there's a signature.
be restricted to just immediate family members. California opened it up to anybody.
Prior to 2013, a voter had to be ill or disabled for someone else to return a ballot
Yes.
for them. And they had to be a family member or from the same household. After 2013, you no longer had to be sick or disabled. If you wanted a member of your household to return your ballot, they could. In 2016, the law changed again, so...
And again, this should only be there's only one reason that you shouldn't be voting in person, first of all. And that's if you're in the military and you're stationed somewhere else, but your home of record is still in your original where you're from. Or if you're elderly, sick, have a debilitating illness, whatever, any of these things or anything akin to them, it's the only time that you should be able to mail in your vote or hand it off to a family member to turn in for you or whatever. But California doesn't care. This is how California has become a supermajority state.
anyone could return your ballot, and there was no limit on how many ballots they could turn in.
They don't want anything to get in the way of their ballot harvesting operation. This is their playbook. It's been their playbook for decades.
Anyone can take your ballot. Proponents of ballot harvesting will pretend that it's necessary because people who live in remote areas and the elderly can't figure out how to send mail, and they need a blue-haired commie to do it.
Which would make sense if that was the only people who were being harvested.
For them. Obviously, this is fake. You can send mail by putting it in your own mailbox. So
Also
if you have
true.
the capacity to receive the ballot, you have the exact same capacity to send the ballot. The mere fact that you have the ballot is proof that you don't need a stranger to send it. This isn't about helping people send in their ballots. It's about giving activists access to your ballot so they can rig the game. This new system is so bad, even the LA Times called for its repeal, warning that it does open the door to coercion and fraud. Now, on paper, it is illegal for ballot harvesters to tell you how to vote or influence you in any way. They cannot tell you what to vote for, but what stops them from doing it? What stops a Nithya Raman supporter from collecting ballots at homes with Pratt signs on their lawn and then just throwing them in the garbage? Well, nothing. Ballot harvesting lets the camel's nose under the tent. It introduces the menace of political activists influencing voters and electioneering at the polling place, but out of view of authorities, removing voting from the sterile field. You can't electioneer at the polling site where you vote in person, but now the ballots are sent to everyone's homes. Everyone's home is now a polling site, but there ain't nobody overseeing the laws. The casino has rigged the game. That's why they never lose.
They can just go and send.
Spencer Pratt's amazing. And no, I agree. Like a Marcus Rubius, Spencer Pratt ticket with Rubio at the top. I could get behind that. I think Spencer Pratt should be groomed to be the next big political candidate. He's fantastic at it, at least as far as the actual running of a campaign. When it's in a place such as California, it's kind of hard for someone who's running on the Republican ticket to win there, as we saw with the last harvest of that election, where the person who was far, far in third place, I don't remember if she overtook first place, but she definitely overtook second.
Send out a bunch of labor organizers, go through housing projects, go through homeless encampments, get votes from people who weren't planning on voting, get them to vote in the ways they wanted them to.
It may be tough to coerce a vote at a polling site. The people there are committed voters, and they've already made up their minds. But when everyone in California gets a ballot, that includes a lot of apathetic people who never vote and simply don't care. Easily talked into voting for the commie candidate when one of their minions harasses them at the door and says, "Hey, you want a rent freeze? You want free stuff? Vote for Nithya. Hey, I'll take the ballot for you. You know what? Why don't you just sign the envelope? I'll deal with all the paperwork." Is that legal? Nope. But who's watching? You think the apathetic non-voter is going to call the authorities to report illegal electioneering? The game is rigged. You can play if you choose, but the House will never lose. The solution is so simple. Mail ballots need to be banned. They're too vulnerable to fraud. It's also a laughably inefficient and primitive system. We should be voting by phone. All of our phones have high-level security and biometric ID.
I don't agree with that either. It should be in person. I mean, you can still use your thumbprint to get you into it, by all means, 100%, sure. But someone could literally just, I mean, they could still electioneer you on that. They can be like, sign into your phone. Put your thumb on it. Sign the bioscans.
With face and fingerprint recognition. We already use our phones for banking, medical records, TSA, crypto. If it's secure enough for all of that, it's secure enough for voting. Every phone vote will be posted to a public ledger anonymously with a unique ID that only you can possess. So you can go online to the ledger, validate that your vote was counted, and every item you vote for was properly cast. The results would be perfect and instantaneous, with results at 8 p.m. on election night, the moment polls close. Not only would the vote be more secure, more efficient, and more accurate, turnout would skyrocket. This is a 360 win, and there's literally no good reason to not vote this way in this modern era, unless, of course, you don't want the fraud to stop.
I don't know. I'm torn on that. Like, he almost convinced me, but at the same time, a lot of people get their identity hacked. A lot of people get their phones hacked. If phones get to a point, and I know security is better now than it's probably been for a bit, but if we can get it to where it's nigh impossible to hack your phone, then maybe. But again, I don't know. But let's get into banning banned books that aren't actually banned, shall we?
Dua Lipa, literary icon, revolutionary writer of this generation.
No,
Now she's
no,
opened
you
a
missed. You
banned
just said
books
retard.
bookstore with 100 titles that are not banned and that she for sure has not actually read. And they purportedly challenge power. I mean, you can get literally every single one of those books on Amazon Prime today or tomorrow. It's always entertaining when pop stars or celebs put out their reading.
And let's make something really clear here, okay? If you can buy a book, it's not banned. If they don't allow a book in a school, that's not a banned book. That's just a mature book or an adult book or a naughty book or a book that has no educational purpose whatsoever.
This one is particularly incoherent. And speaking of incoherent, Joe Biden has announced his newest book, and he is touting his biggest foreign policy failures by mumbling a lot. Maybe there's a chapter on oatmeal. I mean, could happen. There's a singer named Dua Lipa, and she has now created what she calls her manifesto.
Oh, cool.
Library,
Thanks, Freaky
which is
Man.
over in Portugal, apparently. It is a library of pseudo-banned books. When I say banned books, I mean none of these books are banned. You can get them tomorrow on Amazon, like Prime delivery. These are some of the most widely read books.
But Ben, fascism. Remember everything's fascism
In civilization. But she's explaining her manifesto library. Now, I would assume that Dua Lipa's actual literary acumen is low. I do not think, based on her lyrical command, that Dua Lipa is sitting around reading the collected volumes of Shakespeare, or that she spends a lot of her time reading past. I think that if you had a picture of Dua Lipa reading these books, it would look like that montage of LeBron.
By the way, Dua Lipa is Portuguese for two lips, and I base that on absolutely nothing.
James reading books in the locker room, where it's just he's reading the first page of every book. Well, Dua Lipa explained her manifesto library.
Hi, I'm Dua Lipa, and this is the Manifesto Library.
Hi,
Partnership
I'm
between
retarded.
the Service 95 Book Club and Livraria Lello Porto. Livraria Lello has been a source of inspiration for...
Can we just get past the point where people with this kind of accent, with a European accent, where we just assume that they're intelligent? Because, oh yes, they speak with the King's English and all that. Yes, pip pip, cheerios, ha ha.
Over a century. Dreamers, radicals, and artists have passed through these doors.
An artist.
Works of activism, reimagining, and dissent have found a home on these shelves. There is no more fitting place for the Manifesto Library.
I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty dope staircase. On the other hand, it's a bit vagina-y.
To live. In this library, you will find 100 books that ask questions or have been questioned. The collection is organized into 4
books?
chapters.
Ooh.
Power, control, voice, and memory. You're probably not surprised to hear that George Orwell's Animal Farm was considered anti-communist propaganda and banned in the USSR by Stalin. But maybe you are more surprised to learn that 1984 was considered pro-communist and banned by a parents group in 1981 in Jackson, Florida.
And let's not pretend that some parents groups are mentally retarded to assume such a thing.
A book removed from a shelf.
That's the same thing. USSR and a local parents group. The same.
Whose stories are carried forward and which lives are believed to be worth understanding. So take your time.
Also a good point that they're not the same
and
thing.
Decide for yourself what belongs on these shelves.
Well, I mean, I can't decide. She decided. She decided. And what did she decide? She decided on something that is just a series of books that are completely in conflict with one another, which is pretty wonderful. So she's got the Satanic Verses by Salman Rushdie, right? Not Rushdie's best book, by the way, but it's probably his most famous book because it resulted in an Iranian fatwa against him that eventually would involve him being stabbed in the eye. She's got that, but she also
Just like
has
Luffy.
The Are Not Numbers, The Voices of Gaza's Youth, which is basically an apologia for radical Islam, as long as it is quote-unquote anti-imperialism. She has The Handmaid's Tale, of course, because obviously Christians, terrible and bad and fundamentalist and all of that.
Yeah, Christians are so very bad. Do I think that Christianity could get to that point? Yes. Do I think it's likely, given the current climate? Only if the left keeps pushing them in that direction. This is what happens when the pendulum swings, when you should really just let it kind of dangle in the middle, maybe go to and fro just slightly. But if you grab it and pull it all the way to your side, if you lose your grip on it, it will go all the way back to the other side. I do not want that. I don't see how it could be much worse than what they're trying to do, but I don't want that either. I think where we were in the, 90s, 2000s, even the, 2010s is where it really started shifting. But even at the very beginning of it, it was still kind of all right.
But she also has George Orwell's 1984, which is about the evils of communism. So,
and she called it pro-communism.
None of this is particularly informative. Listen, I do think that famous people giving out their book lists is kind of interesting because it gives you a window into what they think. But the thing about Dua Lipa and celebrities like her is that the chances she's read of these 100 books, 10, are extraordinarily low. She's got somebody who's picking these, and the people who are picking these are people who have the dumb lawn sign in front of their house. And then they just pick a bunch of Maya Angelou books and then other books they may once have heard of in a lecture about books that were once banned by a parents group in Jacksonville, Florida.
Or books that were attempted to be banned, or books that were frowned upon, or, yes, books that aren't allowed in schools. What are we doing?
Or something. Just silly talk.
Boing.
This is what President Obama does with his listening list every year. He puts out a bunch of songs that clearly he does not listen to. It's the same shtick all the time. So, I guess congrats to Dua Lipa on her bookstore. I'm sure that her clientele will be they will be rushing through the doors to buy books. One of the great sadnesses of my life is the fact that people no longer read books. This is a very, very sad thing. Joe Biden, I know, he's still traipsing around, sort of, stumbling around. Well, he has announced the launch of a book. Okay. Did not know that the auto pen could write books now, but apparently, yes. It is called Promise Me, America, which the comma comes after me. So it's Promise Me, America, which is actually the publisher's fix. Originally, his book was titled Promise Me, America. In any case, Joe Biden put out a little statement that involves many jump cuts talking about his book.
I've written a book about my time as president. It's called Promise Me, America. It's coming out in November. And it's available.
He didn't want the comma in there, but they put it in anyway.
For pre-order now.
Great.
It's about the challenge we face as a
right?
About the decisions I made.
Well, I mean, I don't know about her entire existence. I mean, damn cheeseburger eater, crying to get money. I wish I could cry and people just fling money at me.
Why I made them.
I can barely speak English at this point. Every clip of him is less than 30. It's less than 30 milliseconds.
And restoring our democracy after the attack on January 6th. Ending our nation's longest war in Afghanistan. Strengthening NATO.
It is the longest war in Afghanistan. And getting a bunch of people killed and a lot of military equipment acquired by hostile forces. Good job, Biden.
Supporting Ukraine. It's about why I chose to run for re-election and why I chose to step aside.
Because you're old and you couldn't hack it, so you handed it off to who they actually did want to, I had to insult. No, of course. And you handed the election off to who they wanted to run and win in 2020. How do I know? Because she got a lot of positive press from being a relative nobody. And she was taken out by the wonderful, the brave, the beautiful Tulsi Gabbard. It was a kamikaze play because after that she was branded a traitor. And she was even branded I think it was a Russian asset. What?
Most of all, It's about my faith in the promise of America.
Oh, man.
The promise we made to those who've gone before us and to honor their sacrifice.
They would have made this man president again. They
Yeah.
would have. They would have. They tried to lie about it. Again, you want to talk about why America's faith in our institutions completely fell off a cliff? This is a big reason. The entire media covering up the fact that it was perfectly obvious to human eyes that Joe Biden was ailing. He cannot get through a simple minute-long ad for his book without 1 million jump cuts and a bunch of stock footage. And even when he's talking, it sounds as though he's eating with his mouth filled with oatmeal. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I need the nurse.
Now, I will
Nurse.
admit, I'm not sure which I dread more, Joe Biden's new book or a new documentary about life with MTG. Ever for Life on the Road with Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Oh,
Good
God.
Times at the Gym with Marjorie Taylor Greene? Oh, boy. Here we go.
We're going to the Big Apple. Things get heated on The View.
Americans are sick and tired of funding Israel's genocidal wars that are killing children.
Oh, she's going to lead off with the shocker.
For the record.
A trip to Lady Liberty.
Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and this is silly. But then again, remember, this is a woman who thinks that there are Jewish space lasers. It's absolutely insane. Marjorie Taylor Greene is not a serious person. Okay, and she looks like, hold on, let me pull this up. This is what she looks like to me. Beast from 90s Beauty and the Beast show. To me, and this you might think this is mean, that's fine. That's fine. But to me, oh, that's not a whole picture. Okay, hold on. This is what Marjorie Taylor Greene looks like to me. Okay? So let's back up.
We're going to the Big Apple. Things
Oh,
get heated
Israel.
on The View.
Americans are sick and tired of funding Israel's genocidal wars that are killing children.
Americans genocidal wars against Americans genocide, the pretendicide, man. Oh man, look at the Statue of Liberty.
Visits famous chef Salvo.
Coming up on this next episode of Life with MTG. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so exciting. She's going to go to a restaurant. She's going to see a site that literally tens of millions of
That's what she looks like
She's
to
gonna talk about
me.
Jews?
Okay.
Oh man, Life
The
with
Juden. Oh,
MTG.
das Juden.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like.
Oh, Baron, this is going to sound embarrassing. Apparently, I thought Act 2 was a sequel to the original It's All About Money, but no, there's actually Act 1 explains. Really? Oh, interesting. I'll have to look that up.
Most interesting life. I gotta be honest with you. In terms of people who deserve a documentary crew following them around, documenting the magic of their daily life, I feel like MTG is not at the top of that list. That is some pretty low rent stuff right there. What an amazing video!
What an amazing. All right, we're gonna get into Marcus Rubius, first of his name.
Call me Pierce Brosnan because I do not dig.
Hold on. Where it go?
Man, the left is really doing everything in their absolute power to look as evil as they possibly can. It's pretty insane. So Tim Walz just pardoned a convicted child molester. All right, because
Pardoned, not saved him from deportation. Pardoned. Sorry.
he didn't want him to get deported. You understand what they're doing to our nation? do you understand what they are doing to our nation?
It's absolutely insane.
Again, it was a Muslim child molester, but that's a coincidence. Because just because they worship a prophet that married a child, it has nothing to do with the fact that per capita they molest children more. It's a coincidence, and we're not racist on this channel because we love all cultures and they're all equal. So, of course, obviously, I'm on YouTube. They're all equal. Anyway, so understanding that, he just pardoned a child molester, a convicted one, because they didn't want him to get deported.
In this case, I would state this, that I can find no reason how Minnesota will be safer or better if Mr. Vang is deported to a country he has not been to since he was a child.
Minnesota would not be better or safer if we deported a pedophile. All right, understand what he just. Can we deport that man to hell, please? Can we deport the pedophile straight to hell? I would do. I think we should deport him to hell. Actually, what are you? Are we serious? Can we deport Tim Waltz from the
Please?
country, immediately? Please begin.
Can we?
Can we deport him to the Pacific? Are we insane? Are we insane, dog? This is crazy. This is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, I don't see how deporting a pedophile would make anything safer.
Act 1, maybe tomorrow.
To the board forgiving him, and they say that was a key factor in their move to pardon Bing. Charlie Rachel with.
Thank you, Maddie.
They pardoned a pedophile because they didn't want him to get deported, because deporting a pedophile will make the country better. Holy crap, bro. Are we insane? We need to deport this man's head, okay? Get out of here, bro. Get out of here. Now, Marco Rubio.
Like, he looks like if Jim Gaffigan was drunk. That's all that Tim Walz looks like. And Jim Gaffigan actually does a really good impression of Tim Walz.
He's my favorite guy in the government right now. I'm sorry.
Look at those ears. My God.
And it's not even close. I have never seen a man cook as much.
The circumference.
Yes, I do support total pedo death, and no, that's not
Yes.
Islamophobic.
No.
Right, listen, it's not Islamophobic for me to want pedophiles to get executed. Okay, if you don't like that stance, then you should probably.
Yes, castrated or killed.
Religion. Anyway, so Secretary Marco Rubio.
Marcus Rubius, first of his name.
Just weeks ago, a convicted sex offender and a foreign national was shielded from deportation by the governor of Minnesota. Laotian national Tu Li Vang was convicted of repeatedly sexually abusing a 10-year-old girl in the state of Minnesota. He even tried to.
Sorry, I was looking at Yunuka's GIF in the chat.
A minor thing. Just
I mean, literally a minor thing, right?
days before this foreign sex offender was scheduled to be deported, a minor thing.
Just saying.
Days before this foreign sex offender was scheduled to be deported, Tim Walz, the governor, issued him a pardon, setting him free to once again endanger the children of America. Well, this week I revoked his legal status in the United States, and as a result, federal agents took him into custody, and as of today,
Let's go, Patriot.
has been removed
This is the greatest
from
thing
the
ever.
United States.
This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Because of our action, this foreign criminal will never pose a threat
Yes.
to any American ever again. Americans must
Up
never
yours,
be
Tim
forced
Walz.
by their elected
We
100%.
deported him via catapult. We stuffed him in real tight, real good, to get as much aerial range as possible. We put him in the catapult.
And then you
we
see him
launched
go.
him, somewhere in the. Hopefully it's fine. But we don't really care.
And
Live
just
alongside
bing
foreign
in the
sex
distance.
who have no right to begin with to reside in our country. This administration will always stand with the American people and defend them from violent criminals.
Again, I don't know if he's a Muslim guy. I was kidding. I don't know if you're unaware. But the reality is, Tim Walz pardons him because he likes keeping pedophiles in our country. Obviously, Marco Rubio doesn't, so he removed him. I don't know his religious affiliation. He's Laotian, apparently. At the W, though, we got rid of him. All right, now this is awesome. Can I just rephrase this story for you for a second? The Biden administration feels the need to let in infinite criminals into our country without actually investigating who they are. They bring them in, they rape our kids, they destroy our civilization, all right? Now, they actually get arrested for all of this. They actually imprison them for the crimes. They actually are going to deport them because they actually caught him and he's a pedophile. The leftists feel the need, because of their suicidal empathy, to pardon the pedophiles, to put them back on the streets because, oh, we can't deport them. And now Rubio...
And this is the main reason, and this is what turns a lot of people off of the left. This is one of the things that's turned me off of the left entirely. It's not that they stand or claim to stand for minorities, whether that be sexual minorities, racial minorities. I mean, women aren't gender minorities, but they act like it. At least white women do. In America, white liberal women, mind you. Deporting him would also be unsafe to the countries. No, I agree. Let's shoot him out an airlock like on Among Us. But it's not the fact that they claim to stand up for these people and actually don't do anything for them. But it's that they use them as a bludgeon and they actually don't do anything for them, and then they pardon or ignore when certain people do certain things. No, Nux is absolutely our favorite demon boy. He is the Blue Jew, the great mighty Blue Jew, he who shall not be named by Hassan Piker. But yeah, no, and that's my biggest issue. is that they'll ignore things like this in this country, in England, in most of Europe, because they think by saying that any of these people are committing crimes, whether it be a small percentage or what it's become, a very large percentage, is racist or could lead to racism, which is by far the worst crime. No, what leads to said racism is letting these people go without any form of punishment or lesser punishments, or letting them off multiple times, like the person who killed Irina Zarutska. They let him off multiple times. They let him off after he stabbed her in the neck, and there's video of it. The same judge. It's bewildering. It's disgusting. And it's one of the reasons why I could never go back. Look at Nuck's recent videos title. Oh, no, I saw. I followed him on Patreon, and y'all should too.
Comes in, knight in shining armor, Marcus Rubius, first of his name. And it's like, no, I'm actually just promoting his legal status. We're getting rid of him anyway. Sorry, that's just how it's going to work. Yep, sucks for you, I guess.
Just so you know, Marcus Rubius, first of his name, can hear you coming into the country. Anyway, continuing.
That's how it's happening. This is insane. This narrative is crazy, and there's no way the left can survive this. Now, funnily enough, the Telegraph is releasing all these articles about how Trump is evil. Donald Trump's king-making has proved to be the kiss of death to decades of left-wing rule across Latin America, with all 7 presidential elections won by his allies since he took office. Goes hard, says Rapid Response 47, the official White House response team on Twitter. That's right. His king-making actually worked. We knocked off 7 out of 7 leftists in Latin America. Based, actually.
Yes.
That's right. The red wave doesn't stop at our borders.
Hell yes, as you should, Yanuka.
Absolute cinema. Now, one of the craziest stories of the day has got to be this one. An American trans...
No, you got to, man. Nux does this, again, he does this for the love of the game. He doesn't do this for money, because he made a lot more money and got a lot more views and had practically no trouble from the YouTube overlords back when he was just talking about anime. I mean, I go back and watch some of his older videos too, and you can see it. The difference is stark.
Sexual man who applied for asylum in the Netherlands due to oppression in Trump's America has been placed in the infamous asylum center Ter Apel, famous for Islamist extremists and knife violence. And now he regrets his decision.
Between here and there is a bunch of Algerians and Moroccans or whoever who think that queer people should be beaten. I think...
Wow, that's crazy.
That this system where you have people just living out here that are unhappy is not good.
Yeah. And do you think it's safe here?
No, I don't think it's very safe.
Oh, it's scary. It's legitimately scary.
Yeah, so a transsexual man fled America because he's scared of Trump's America, and then he ended up with Muslim migrants that are all trying to kill him. I'm sorry, it's the funniest thing ever.
I decided that my mental health is degrading so substantially being here that I just need...
See, I'm surprised, personally. I'm surprised. When I see a man that thinks he's a woman, I think that he's a totally normal guy.
Get out, and the situation that I have in the U.S. as a trans person, not good, right? But here, I will be hurt or killed.
Anyway, W Islam, I guess it was the one. I'm kidding, I'm joking. I'm joking. Now,
But yeah, and that's the funny thing. All these people who, remember how everyone's like, oh my God, if Trump gets elected, I'm moving out of the country. And then his first election came and went, and none of them moved. And then it happened again the second time. And the only one, I will say, the only ones that had the balls to do it were Rosie O'Donnell and I think Ellen DeGeneres. But that's mostly because her show was over because she's a cunt. Sorry. I tried to get through that without laughing, but it's impossible. That word is so funny to me. I don't like using it a lot, but when I do, but of the few regular people who took the leap are all very much regretting it, especially those who are trans, because they got put in the same place with all the people who want to throw them off roofs, but there's no roofs high enough in some of these countries.
To understand how far the left has actually gone, a couple, this is a gay couple, 2 men, sues surrogate who refused to abort their baby over a minor birth defect. I want you to look at this story for a second and understand the level of evil that wokeness and general accepting of morons and immoral decisions actually are. Look at how evil this is, okay? So, this is layers of evil. This is like an onion of evil. And just like how onions have layers, gay people have layers too. All right? Understand what's happening. Gay couple that desperately wants to abuse a child, probably statistically speaking, gay people are 10 times more likely to be abusive to adopted children than foster stray couples. Again, that's just statistics. I would never be homophobic on YouTube because gay people have the right to live unless they actually engage in homosexual relations. Then the Bible says to execute them, and that's what God said. That's not me. That's not what I said, but that's what God said. God said to execute them. I didn't. That's what God said.
Yeah,
and I'm a documentarian.
it's God. Okay, yeah, he's just repeating what God said. Okay, he's not actually saying this. Of course not. Of course not.
Anyway, so remember when it used to be her body, her choice? Her body, her choice, so she can kill her baby. Her body, her choice, so she could not kill her baby. Well, now the gay couple is forcing her to kill her baby. So it was never about their body, their choice, actually, at all, actually. Homosexuals demanded that a government assassinated a woman's baby. All right? It's not a slippery slope, guys. We just want to get married. We just want to get married. Yeah, that's why, by the way, the Bible's actually right about everything, it turns out. Now, I know it's a shock. No one saw this coming. It was a total surprise to everyone that actually God was right about everything.
It's not just a slippery slope. It's slippery because they poured cooking oil on it. And then while you're sliding down it, someone lit it on fire. And the fire's coming.
I know. It's so shocking. Literally no one saw this coming. But he was. Yeah, and I don't care if the adult consents.
Also, this is eugenics. Remember how people call everything a Nazi? Well, guess who liked eugenics? Yahtzee.
Things that adults consent to are inherently evil and immoral and should be eradicated from society. That's right. God was right in many such cases. Moving on. You know, even Asmongold, who's not like a religious guy or anything, you know, he's like for this, essentially. He's pro-abortion. He's pro-gay people adopting until he actually saw the stats. You know, the craziest thing is, it turns out God just knows better than all of us. It turns out. That's crazy. Now, in another episode of Suicidal Empathy, one of the wildest stories ever, this is Jamie Carney. This woman over here, an American living in Europe who participates in pro-Palestine protests. She just became another victim of a brutal murder committed by a third world Muslim invader. She posted romantic text messages between herself.
Oh yeah, we covered this.
In her post, she wrote, "The most kind, emotionally intelligent, and self-aware person I have ever known," referring to him as love in Arabic. And he beat her to death. This is one of the craziest.
Mind you, she even claims that she only understood about 10% of what he said. How can you be in a relationship that's not clout chasing where you can only understand 10% of what you say? Honestly. He probably got fed up with her bullshit, and she probably started acting like a freak because he went from being Mr. Docile, okay, yes, no, very, very, yes, no, we'll do everything you want, yes, and he finally had enough of it. She lost her mind, and he went into homeland mode and said, this woman is not doing what I tell her to.
Stories ever, I think. It's insane. I just realized that the mother brutally murdered by a Muslim migrant in Ireland wasn't just a pro-Palestine activist. She was also a vocal ICE hater. Look at that, claimed by woke. Another victim on the altar of woke. That's right. She was mind raped in college to think that actually all
yes,
cultures are equal.
free Palestine from the Pretenticide.
Listen, all cultures are equal. Their culture marries children and goats, and loves rape and subjugation of infidels. And our culture had slavery a couple hundred years ago. And bombs Muslims. Anyway, hilariously enough, this person is free Palestine and F-ICE, killed by a Muslim migrant that is a Palestinian. Is that not the craziest thing of all time? Yeah, I'm just saying. Look, I don't support it, obviously. I'm sad she's dead. Sure, I guess. But, like, bro, holy moly. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Of course, Junior, this is a Muslim account that is constantly lying on Twitter. It's pretty incredible. Pretty insane. Breaking, pro-Palestine woman beaten to death by a Zionist immigrant in Ireland. No, that's not what happened.
No.
Community Note reports identified the suspect as a Middle Eastern asylum seeker, not a Zionist immigrant. You know, they keep trying.
Yeah, people will literally lie. They will literally say that the person who was just killed by ICE in Maine. ICE shot them through the side windows. The only footage we have of this incident so far is, one, them pulling them out of the car from the side, and you can see no bullet holes in the side window. I mean, it's pretty far away on that one, but you see pictures of the front of this car, and there are 4 bullet holes in the front. I'm saying. And they'll take into account the last words they said. Like, I'm not mad at you, bro. I mean, I had people say some pretty not violent things to me before they tried to run me over with a car. Did I say that as plural? Yes, people have tried to run me over 5 times in my life. Thank God it hasn't happened in a while. Yet.
They're trying so hard. You know, I feel bad for Muslims because they're not, you know, like, imagine, like, you are going up against Sherlock Holmes in chess. All right, you're gonna get destroyed. That dude's smarter than you. All right, and Batman with prep time would obliterate you. All right, it's not easy. It's not easy out there. That's gotta be.
Yeah, no, Junior is retarded.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Statistically, and again, this isn't me being racist. Statistically, their IQ is much lower.
As a matter of fact,
like they must feel like they're going up against. Like,
I'm gonna milk them for content.
Absolute super genius. It's brutal. Like they're up against someone that is far beyond their understanding, evolutionarily advanced superhumans, and they are just gorillas. Man, that sounded racist.
They have 180,000 followers.
The IQ disparity. Sneeko tweets, "I need to get married." Immediately gets ratioed by one of the greatest ratio tweets I think posted in the history of Twitter. Twitter was made for this ratio. Yeah, so congratulations, Sneeko, on your bride. Anyway, so Sneeko had a pretty diabolical moment. All right, Sneeko posted his video. Dear American Muslims, everyone knows 9/11 was Israel. Drop the Anne Frank.
Oh wow!
Blah, 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 and accidentally left on the top line. Optimize it for X and give it more.
This is absolutely brilliant. This is what happens when you have, again, like you said for Junior, 67 IQ.
For shock factor, he accidentally posted the instructions that he was typing into an AI to make his brown clown slop tweets. Alright, he accidentally left that in the post. He ended up deleting it and reposting it without that. But like, oh my god. Oh my god, what an actual dumbass. One of the craziest dumbasses I've ever seen in my life. Now he's currently denying that this post was ever on his account. He's trying to make believe that this post wasn't there, was never there. You know, the most cope of all copes. Anyway, we got.
Yeah, no. Then let's all remember, Sneeko was not an intelligent person. Okay, this is someone who chased Andrew Tate throughout his entire career, and then when Tate went down, Sneeko thought it was his time to shine, and then he just went full Allahu Akbar.
Look at his story about the pro-Palestine anti-ICE lady that got beaten to death by her Muslim husband. Whoa! Before going any further, we need to talk about the most insufferable people on the planet: insurance brokers. Everyone needs insurance, otherwise you get absolutely screwed. And you know who knows that? The people selling insurance. So obviously the prices keep going up every single year.
Okay.
I don't care if they're an asylum seeker. I don't
Oops,
care
I didn't mean to click that. Whoop.
5 years ago, before becoming heavily involved as an activist.
I can't remember. Did we watch Paul Joseph Watson's bit on this? I think we did. You know what? How much time we got? But yeah. Anyway, we'll jump on Twitter a little bit. We'll get some things. So this is the thing that's going on. Trans person saying you can't be a VTuber and support AI. Artists are the backbone of the VTubing community. I hope you get blacklisted from collabs. Which is funny because a lot of the VTuber community is actually going our way. A lot of them pro AI. A lot of them not hardcore leftists, with the exception of this freak and Yara and a couple of other furries. Not that I have anything against furries, other than, okay, I do, but sorry. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Let your freak flag fly, whatever. You know, do your thing. Just don't stop inviting me. But yeah, this is a response to Banana Juju. They're missing out on all the cool stuff, so screw them. And then you have Father Tone here going, you can't be a VTuber and support AI. Brother, you can't be a man and be a woman, which is, of course, based. Hey, what's up, Gaming Sin? But scrolling down here, we have James O'Keefe pointing out literally no Democrats showed up to the fraud hearing in the Senate for himself or Nick. They predicted personal insults or difficult cross-examination by the truth and the facts on what's happening on videos probably transcends the partisan divide. And then that's an old one, but there's violence. Yeah, people keep saying how beautiful Zendaya is. I mean, she's okay. She's, you know, a pretty enough young woman, I guess. Can't show that. Men scratching their dicks in public, sticking them in every hole. So Queen got itchy. What's the big deal? She's on stage. I would talk about anyone doing this on stage. The only people that do this in this kind of scenario are literally retarded people. That's not me insulting people. Only literally retarded people and small kids will scratch their naughty bits in public. And that's just a fact. Whisper something dirty in my ear. Your feet. The hypocrisy is laughable. They didn't believe Paula Jones. They didn't believe Tara Reid. But, you know, E. Jean Carroll, they believe this very not crazy person, who, if you know anything about E. Jean Carroll, is a crazy person. I think I've covered that in the past. So this delightful individual, this is a one-way. This guy is going the correct way. This person is not. She's literally in the middle. What do you expect? The thing is, she's too stupid to back up because she doesn't know how to, probably.
Barstool 49ers, baby.
It's a one-way. Where? You were sitting here and you would have moved around and said, "Prove a point."
Yeah, you're crazy. That's the point.
Trying to prove a point. You're going the wrong way. You're holding up the line. There's no parking spot. Where are you going to go? Where are you?
You want him to back up. Why don't you just back up? There's no one behind you. Probably because you're going the wrong way. It's not two lanes. It's not two lanes. It's literally just enough room to get in and out of the parking spaces, dumbass. It's not two lanes. It's not two lanes. It's not two lanes. It's not two lanes. God could be agreeing with you. I don't care, because, you know, sense and logic. Joey Swole's just base. Let's face it. Okay, these people are naked, and no one cares. Hoodweebs are so fucking exhausting. White people, all the other races. But one, bad guy, bad guy. Also, fish. Also, white guy. Gender undetermined. White guy, white guy, white guy. White guy, white guy. White or Asian guy, white, was black, but white skeleton, so we'll claim him. What are you talking about? How can you put this, and it's literally every other race? Like, it's literally just white, fish guy, undetermined, and undetermined. That's it. White. This right here, they're all Nazis, they're all Nazis, they're all Nazis. They're all Nazis. Very true. Metatron is based. Okay, I clicked on that because I thought it was a small clip, but it is not, apparently. Remember Humongous? Humongous. I actually want to do an update on this. So bad guys are white in their view. No, exactly.
Humongous what? Humongous what?
That's what it is.
Humongous what? Is that sexual harassment?
No, it's humongous.
Then why did you...
And I've thought about going back and covering this. This is from like 10, 12 years ago. He's literally talking about his tummy. He literally touches his tummy and goes, this right here, this is humongous. And she says that he was pointing at his naughty bits. This is a crazy person. I might actually cover this on one of the weekend specials. My God. I had, where'd it go? Okay, that's the shoe on head shit again. Oh, God, this. So this delightful individual, this is the person who slapped... Okay, so this person is a Canadian illegal migrant who is not even actually married, but claims to be married to this retard. Gross, 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 gross. But yeah, Caitlin Tracy and her quote-unquote husband, the woman who slapped the U.S. teenager for wearing a Trump ICE clothing, and is now up for assault charges and being deported back to fucking Canada. Frogan isn't a medium. She's an extra large. No, 100%. 100%. Okay, I'm not getting copyright for this bitch. Alright. Completely gross. This would be... Nah, see, I almost said it would be kind of cute, but these people are gross.
Okay, I'm Grandmaster Ash's wife. I'm here to talk about this comment by Susie. I wanted to say hi. Hope everything's good in Toronto. So yes, as everyone has noticed, we are back in Jersey. We've been here for about 2 months, trying to get our lives back together, trying to get jobs, trying to get a house. We have yet to.
I love cyanide and happiness.
Yeah, we've been focusing on trying to get our lives together, which leads me to the point of why is it taking so long for us to make a video to tell you what happened.
By the way, you're wearing a Bucky shirt, which is Texas-based, just so you know, Miss Lefty.
Well, we were in Atlantic City for our friend's birthday party, and we were in a car with a bunch of smokers, and I don't smoke cigarettes. I'm actually allergic to cigarettes. Lame.
You're not. It's just gross. You can say it's just gross. You don't have to say you're allergic to something you don't like. I am allergic to this, though.
That's fact about me, but it's fucking true.
It's not.
Up yet, and then we ate Mexican food.
Okay, I don't know what all that has to do with the rest of this, but yeah, this person slapped a teenager and got arrested for assault, as she should, and is getting the fuck deported. Morgan Freeman proving more and more that he's the fucking worst. What kind of sick fuck would post this? Eradicate Chuck Kirk. Oh, yeah. Joey Swole continues to be based. Date canceled. He works a 9-to-5 job. Good. You did him a favor. Maybe now he'll find someone that deserves and appreciate him while you continue to complain about being single on the internet. And she blocked me. Oh, God. You remember this? Dank DeMoss. First of all, I would not be this big and talk about things that are dank or mossy because obvious vagina joke. Fuck the concrete underneath you and fuck the cars underneath because when you fall through this and land on them, they'll be on the brink of death. Just so you know, this is the person who tried to sue Lyft because someone pulled up on her and it was a regular size sedan and said, I am sorry, you cannot fit in here. I am sorry. Based, probably a legal guy. But yeah, he said she wouldn't fit. And there's literal videos of her barely fitting in the cargo section of SUVs. That's not a joke. I mean, it's funny, but it's not a joke. I mean, for a size comparison, there you go. I like how she can't really dance or move. She's just got to kind of stand there and hope her legs don't give out. while she's wearing as much clothes as she can afford because she's only known for being a chick that's too fat to get into a regular-sized Uber. Oh, crap, she moved a leg. Hold on. Yeah, but that's Dank Damas. I can tell why she's not known for anything except for being too fat to get an Uber. But... I forgot I tagged this.
Wasn't right or wouldn't. I need help. I don't know what to do. My wife is being detained by ICE. She's in Ocean County Jail.
What? A white woman? But I thought they were racist.
Right now, and I can't get a hold of her. She keeps trying to call me, but they won't let me put money on her card. The kiosk in the Toms River jail is broken, and all the numbers and stuff they gave me wasn't right or wouldn't allow me to put money on her card. And ICE is coming there to pick her up. I need an immigration lawyer. I need help. I don't know what to do. I don't.
Move to Canada. You're not moving that far. She's being deported to Canada. Move there. Move there. I mean, she clearly belongs there. Look at her. She's nuts. We just saw her in the previous videos. Move to Canada. That's it.
I don't have any money. I'm so fucking broke. But I gotta figure something out. I gotta.
You can afford to go to baseball games. I can't afford to go to baseball games. You're not broke.
Save her. I need help. I need you to figure out. I don't know. This just happened.
She's either look, buddy. She's either going to get deported or she's going to go to jail. She slapped a kid. I'm sorry. She probably won't be in there for long, but you need to keep, and I don't like saying this, but you need to keep that bitch on a leash. Okay? Anyone who would slap anyone in public for not liking what they wear are one of two kinds of people. Really old ladies in the 90s who go to church, mostly Baptist church, Southern Baptist, white Southern Baptist churches, or lunatic, septum-pierced retards like your wife.
I need help. I need my wife. I don't want her to get hurt. I don't want to see her get...
Your wife slapped someone in public because she didn't like the clothes they were wearing because they were supportive of the very people who were throwing her the fuck out of the country, which is hilarious.
I don't know what to do.
Let me tell you. Yeah, post online.
No, I don't know what to do.
Yesterday, July 13th, my wife was detained by ICE and brought to Delaney Hall in Newark, New Jersey.
Tell me you're reading without telling me that you are reading.
This is my attempt to reach out to any news outlets, especially local ones to New Jersey, like News 12 New Jersey, or
Why is she detained?
Or NJ.com.
Why is she detained?
Or any journalists or reporters that are local that want to hear our
They don't care. She's white.
story. My wife is a Canadian citizen and I'm an American citizen. We've been married for a little over 3 years.
And you haven't done paperwork to make one of you the citizen of the other one's country? Skill issue.
And I'm just doing anything I can to get her story heard and bring any help to and attention to her situation so that I can get her released, even if that means
She looks like a more autistic Natasha Lyonne.
back to Canada. My main goal is the safety and well-being of my wife, and that is about it. I don't...
My goal is the safety and well-being of my wife, and that is about it. How can you have something this poorly written and make it sound like you're very clearly reading it off paper?
care what your opinions are of me or the situation. That's kind of irrelevant. All that matters is her safety and her well-being. And if anybody would like to talk to me, please reach out here. I also have an Instagram. The handle is GravMasterHash. And
Grav Master Hash. You buying a bunch of hash is probably why you don't have any money, bro.
And I also have links in my bio for different ways that you can reach me. I appreciate all of the support and kind words that people have given me, and I
move to Canada.
know my wife will also appreciate these things. And to all the people who want to spread rumors and misinformation, I hope you find peace one day, but you are vile.
It's not misinformation to say that your wife slapped a teenager for wearing a pro-Trump, pro-ICE articles of clothing. Oh my God, people are literally the worst. Hey, speaking of retards, so this lady shaved her head,
The 2 strands.
which is, you know, cool.
And then we have some yarn.
Ooh, yarn. What is she making? I know this is kind of old, but oh, she made a beanie. Is it for like her grandma who's got cancer?
They're gonna love it.
Hey, do you want to wear my hair? Oh, you're going to make it into a wig? No. I'm going to make it into something that not even Tim Pool would wear. Or that long-haired guy from the show. I can't remember his name. But, oh, one more thing before we leave. 2 more things. Okay. So this, I actually agree with this. These people should be punished. I know. I'm agreeing with a Krasenstein. Now, only if, and even if not, no one should fly this close to the ground. I mean, look at the smokes, the trails on that. Very clearly having a little bit of control issue over there, buddy. Yeah, this is bullshit. Now, if you're here for like a Blue Angel show or whatever, then that's fine, as long as everyone's aware that there's going to be very low flyovers, and this one's probably a little too low. The Krasensteins are freaking out a little bit too much for it, and I think it might have been the other Krasenstein that called this an Apache. Called it an Apache. An Apache's a helicopter. Anyway, Oh yeah. Help me understand. Deadpool is openly gay and constantly flirts with men, yet he's a massive fan favorite with combined box office. He's pansexual at worst, straight but flamboyant at best. And let's remember, this fine woman right here was the whole motivation of the plot of all 3 movies, actually. And finally, where was it? Oh yeah, Angry Joe. So Asmund says, you might wonder why left-leaning creators never advise to comply with police and not resist arrest. The answer here is simple. They want ICE to kill more people. They might pretend to be sad, but they are actually happy because now they have another martyr for their narrative, which is true, which is absolutely fucking based. It's true. It's true. I've said this myself. To which Angry Joe Vargas says this. I think more of it has to do with the fact that the roles have flipped. Note that Angry Joe doesn't actually address what Asmund says and goes off on some weird tangent because he's a retard grifter. I like Angry Joe shows. They're a lot of fun. The opening scene where Alex is dressed as Abby from The Last of Us 2 is fucking hilarious. They do a good job at what they do. Stay out of politics, Joe. Left-leaning creators I've seen advocate for people's rights, no matter the situation. Right to protest, right to bear arms. That's not true. Not true. Completely not true. Right for probable cause. Not true. Right against unlawful seizure. Depends on who it is. Right to require warrants to bust people in homes. Yeah, but they don't understand what is it? Oh, there's a kind of warrant where you don't actually need a judge to sign off on it. Bench warrant is, I think it is. So again, not true, etc. We all agree. we would if that sentence was true, but it's not. Right-leaning creators used to do that. At least he admits that. Now it seems they just want compliance these days. Some of them do. Those are the ones that are anti-Zionist. Since they believe they are in charge, obedience and no questions asked, kiss the boot no matter what. That's not true. People don't like that, no matter who's in charge, especially when those in power abuse it. That's not happening. It's pretty simple. Asmongold's weak leading question. I don't see a question. Do you see a question here? I don't see a question. And straw manning only works on idiots who don't think about it. He's playing to his choir. ICE kills someone again. Blames the victim because they tried to run over the ICE officers. There's proof of that. And the left, because the left wants this to happen. No one else could be responsible. No. And again, I'll even admit that Pratt was mishandled. Someone yelled gun. Someone heard gun. Someone got antsy because heard gun. Someone shot gun. Okay? Now, is that saying that Pratt was needlessly gunned down and innocent? No. Alex Pratt was a fucking retard who took a gun to a protest where he was being very violent and where he was aggressing federal agents. He got what was coming to him. Do I think it was okay that he died? No, it's very sad that he died. What's her name? Renee Good. Similar situation. She was purposefully blocking them in the street, had her car across the street illegally, tried to act coy and naive. Her girlfriend told her to drive off when a cop was in front of the car. Why the cop was there? It was stupid. He shouldn't have been there. But again, icy roads make it difficult to move, and he was trying to get around the car. She goes in reverse, tries to pull off, doesn't work. She tries to go forward and bumps him with the car because on ice she couldn't just careen into him, which she would have if she was going the speed to which her tires were moving. So on and so forth. They even put that black gentleman on there who was shooting his gun, and an off-duty ICE officer saw him, asked him to put it down. He shot at the ICE officer, and the ICE officer shot in response. Okay, and then these last two, same thing as Renee Good. Okay, well, no. The one before that, I can't remember the entire story. But the most recent one in Maine, again, tried to run over an ICE officer, got shot through the windshield, which is on the front of the car. So Joe doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay, again, love Angry Joe. He's got a lot of really good stuff on his channel. I still watch his channel from time to time, even though they're a little long form for my liking, but I get the gist of it, and I mostly watch it for a couple of rants, so on and so forth, and Alex's take on certain shows. But they're a fun group. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, okay? He's captured. Very much captured. Okay? And again, he had similar takes on Supergirl. He was online arguing with people who agree with him, even on the points that he made against Supergirl in his own video. He gave it a slightly better review, especially after second viewing, saying pretty much the same thing as Nerdrotic, and still says that they're wrong because they don't like woman. No, Joe, you have no idea what's going on. You don't watch their content. You have no idea what they're saying. You even said that there was a question posed here. Where question? Where's the question? Just because he said answer doesn't mean there was a question proposed. Fuck, she can barely breathe. Oh, I just saw that. That was from way earlier. But anyway, guys, that's going to be all for today. I got to get out of here. Stayed on for longer than I meant to. But y'all have a fantastic day. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to try to do a weekend show. I got my some oral surgery that I need to get done to fix the tooth. So I might be in a lot of pain this weekend. If I could talk okay, I'll definitely still do the Monday show. I'm going to try to get on over the weekend. But I am going to start doing some more gaming content. I'm going to go through The Witcher and a couple other things. And then when I finally get a Switch 2 and the Ocarina of Time remake comes out, I am going to stream that as well. So things to look forward to this year. But in the meantime, guys, this is Alfie Animus for the Associated Guest, signing off.